All right, now let's look at some of the reports and analytics. So if you go over to Pro Features and Dashboard, you can see your gross sales for the year, the job expenses you have for the year, and your gross profit for the year, as well as the total jobs that you have. You can also see a breakdown of how many clients you've sold, how many were not sold, and how many open leads you currently have left. So 14% of all my leads right now are open. And then on the left here, we have our financial stats, and that will show us how we've done year over year. So if I look over here at January, the light bar will be last year and the dark bar is this year. I can see that I'm consistently outperforming the year prior, except for August. September, I'm way up. And October, since I am currently in the middle of that month, I only have 15K in sales, but the previous year was 185. So that'll be something I want to look into. I can also see my gross sales as compared to last year, and last year comparison will be right here. So I'm up 27% over the year prior, and we're currently only in October. Now, these job expenses and gross sales will come from your financials on your jobs. So in the job details page, which we've gone over, if you go to your financials, you'll be able to add expenses there. To go into your financial stats by job, you'll just hit see all jobs. And right here, I can see my sales total, my expenses, and my profit margin by job. And this will help you analyze what your best product sources are and decide if you need to push more of one particular product or drop a different product entirely. You can also change the year that you want to look at. So you can use these buttons to either go forward or backwards a year and see historical data as well if you decide to enter some historical data. And for lead sources, it automatically compiles all the lead sources, which is what you input when you're adding a client, shows you your revenue per lead, the total revenue from that lead source, and your conversion rate for that lead source. So if I hit see all, this, since I only have two lead sources in this example, it'll show me how much revenue I can expect per lead. So since I only have one lead from Google Ads that was closed, it'll say for every lead, it's expecting that you'll get $15,000. Now, if the lead count were two, but my conversion rate was only 50%, meaning I only sold one of those customers out of the two, and the total revenue was 15,000, my revenue per lead would be half of that 15,000. So it'd be the revenue times your conversion rate, and that would be 7.5K of expected revenue per lead. As you put more lead sources and more customers into the system, you'll get a much more accurate number here for revenue per lead, and you'll understand where your best advertising dollars are spent. You can also look at prior years by using these arrows for your lead sources. Now, let's say you have employees who type in Google Ads, but they don't put the S. It just says Google Ad. And that is the exact same thing as Google Ads. What you'll do is you'll just click this merge button. So the original source was Google Ads, and I want to change that to, let's say I want to change it to Tracker. So it'll take everything that says Google Ads, all those customers, and turn them into lead source tracker, which makes it a lot easier when people are entering data. If you want to go back and clean that up, it makes it a lot easier to run some analytics on your lead sources. Now for 2020, I don't have any lead sources, so this isn't going to be very helpful for me. Now, once I go to dashboard, I can also see job tracker activity. So on the right here, it'll show me what the most recently viewed tracker was and how long ago it was viewed. So I only have sent out one tracker for a new deck, and it was most recently viewed 8 days ago. The other trackers don't have any views at the moment, but this will give you a quick look as to which customers are looking at their trackers most often, and you can see who may be getting a little impatient with their project, and you can reach out proactively to them And that way, you're going to look like a mind reader. So when they're thinking about you and how frustrated they might be that it's taking a while, you've already reached out because you know they're getting frustrated. It's a great way to get some insight into how your customers are thinking. And then down here, you can see what jobs were sold most recently. So there's two sold on June 8th, one on June 2nd, and one on May 10th, and then one, which we went over in the job details and how to add a job segment, and we completed that job out. So it was sold on the 13th, and then it was completed very recently. So today, when we look at um, our tutorials. So this is a really nice snapshot of how your business is doing. You can dive into all jobs to get financials on all of your jobs. You can dive into your top lead sources over here to see all of your lead sources and how those are performing and how many leads you've gotten per lead source, your revenue, and your conversion rates. You can also see the most recent selling activity from your sales team. And for Job Tracker, if I click over here on Active Trackers, I can see all the trackers and how many times they've been viewed. So this tracker for a new deck was seen 150 times. That customer is probably getting a little bit impatient, so you want to reach out to them proactively if they're looking at a tracking link that many times. So that is a basic overview of how your dashboard works. And next, we'll go into the workforce calendar and how you can schedule your employees.